in the numbers game.
Yeah.
If you do enough numbers, you'll make money.
And that's why they keep doing it.
Yeah, that's why they keep doing it.
High.
It's
like golf.
But they were born on third base and thought they had a triple. Like they legitimately thought it was their sales skill that got them those sales.
Oh, selling is a numbers game. You got to work harder. You got to get more no's to get to the yes. Like you got to get tough skin and get rejected. And I'm just like, well, basically what that sales trainer just said to you is what I'm training you doesn't really work that well. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to work harder. You're just going to have to get more no's. I'm so sorry. Oh my, how does that give you a competitive advantage?
Yeah.
No. See, Steph Curry or LeBron James said that basketball was a numbers game. Just shoot as many threes as you can. Eventually you'll hit 1 out of 30. They wouldn't be where they're at, right?
They
know it's a skills game. So every day they're focused on what? The skill game. They're focused on their technique, their elbow, their wrist movement, their knees. They're focused so much on their technique. That's why they get paid tens of millions of dollars. Imagine if your salespeople focused on their techniques every day and the quality of each conversation and the tonality and your body language and the questions instead of, oh, our prospects are all broke. Numbers game, right? It's like and I understand why sales managers say it because they're trying to keep them like, oh, this is normal, right? But it kills them at the end because they just go through the motions and they're just going through the numbers, sounding like a telemarketer because they think it's just a numbers game. Where I'm like, no, I don't want it to be a numbers game. When I knocked on doors, everybody be like, you got to knock on 100 doors to make one sale. And I'm like, well, why? I don't want to work that hard. Like, why can't I just, knock on 15 doors and 5 people answer and I sell 4 out of 5? Like, I don't want it to be a numbers game. So if I want to sell more, I can't really work double the hours. I have to learn an advanced sales ability than what I currently have.
You said people don't have the correct skill set.
Yeah, because you like I said, it's perfect practice. Or what's the term? Like you can't just practice something. Like Jordan says, you can shoot 1,000 jump shots a day, but if your technique's off, you're still going to suck at basketball.
Yeah,
you got to be trained by somebody who actually was successful doing the thing you're doing.
So such a great correlation. So again, I'm not. My company is not specifically a dating company. It's a networking. It's a networking company, but we use a lot of really attractive women in our marketing because that is one of the things. Because it's evidence based. It's like if I'm able to do this, then you kind of assume the rest because nobody else in my field shows this many women.
Anybody that sees your stuff is immediately going to view you at a high status in what you're talking about.
There's a couple other things. You'll notice in my ads, I'm never touching the girls. They're always touching me.
Okay. Yeah. Or they're walking behind you.
They're walking behind you or they're reacting to me. I never. That's really there was one of my best friends is Kindly Myers, and there was a video where like I'm hugging her like this, and I'm like, gotta take it out. Because I'm touching her. You can't have me touching the girls. They always have to be touching me. So we did stuff like that, and that really helped.
That's good.
But in this space, one of the things that I've noticed is like what you said before. So in the pickup space, for instance, they and I'm curious if you've ever worked in any pickup sales trainers.
I didn't know there was pickup sales trainers.
Yeah,
there you go.
No, not sales trainers, but like but they do have a phone sales team. Some pickup companies do.
We might. I'm not sure. I know we've trained dating coaching companies that teach you how to like go out and like what to say to date higher caliber women for sure.
In these cases, is like what you said before, a lot of them believe that it's just a numbers game and they go up and they do the wrong thing a million times. Right?
Why would you do that?
Yeah, it's so crazy. And then one thing for me that changed my whole view of that whole space was I started following guys who were just really good with women. Like I recommend guys do this. If you want to get really good at sales, there's someone else we talk about. My unit is next to my lead sales guy's unit at the high rise I live in.
Okay.
And so we both have big couches and then we both have guest rooms.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the other sales guys come and stay with us for a while. And you mentioned before that the guys who are in the office around the other salespeople do better than the people who aren't. And it just really got me thinking, man, we should get a third unit on this floor and then I'll go play basketball together. Yeah. And so you see that thing happening over and over again because you're around those type of people.
You become who you associate yourself.
My recommendation for people who like don't give themselves permission, I would in college go live in a flat with a 4-bedroom place and the other 3 guys are just crushing it with women. And just watch it all the time.
You're going to get better.
Yes, instead of reading Reddit articles.
Yeah.
Instead of like that's articles, right. That's what I learned. So I just started following guys who were better instead of listening to guys who said they were better.
Yeah.
And then that was a huge change for me because when I did that, then it became like what you said, like I don't have to do cold approach anymore because my lifestyle creates a funnel that leads women that I'm attracted to. Back when I was single, into my life. These guys, when they're sitting there doing cold approach over and over again, they're burning each one of these bridges and they're not, and they're showing intent straight off the bat. So they're the eager sales guy who immediately
running out to the car dealership.
Who immediately turns off the one of the things I tell guys is like a girl's photo when she pays off her house. Don't like a girl's photo because she was in a bikini.
Exactly.
And when you do,
that's
it's
a kiss of death.
It's just so different. And then these guys would go off and do it, and they would show immediate intent. And by the way, here's where guys get fooled. In the numbers game, if you do enough numbers, you'll make money.
And that's why they keep doing it.
Yeah, that's why they keep doing it.
High. It's like golf.
But they were born on third base and thought they had a triple. Like they legitimately thought it was their sales skill that got them those sales. Same thing with these guys. They'll sit there and talk to a bunch of girls, and they will hook up with girls because they talk to so many. But what they did was, because they showed so much intent, what they did is they quickened the pace of the interaction to where it's like this girl was like looking to hook up with someone when you came out. You put her arm around her and she was cool with it. You're putting your arm around her didn't create attraction. It just, what it did is it selected for just the girls who wanted to go home tonight. So congrats, you got a girl with a 600 body count.
You got lucky, right?
Yeah.
Like my good friend Brian Tracy says, every blind squirrel eventually finds a nut.
Yes, exactly.
It's like golf. I always say it to golf, like you suck at 17 holes and somehow on the 18th hole, you just hit a perfect couple of shots. So you get this like adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
So you think like, oh, I'm not that bad. I'm going to keep doing it. The same thing is in sales, same thing is dating, 100%. But they don't realize what they're missing out. Like the level of ability they could have if they learn the skills game.